Have you ever held back on something you wanted to do because you were worried about what others might think? Maybe it was speaking up, trying something new, or just being yourself. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. The fear of judgment can be paralyzing. It keeps us from reaching our potential, chasing our dreams, and even enjoying life to the fullest. But here's the good news. You can break free from this fear. In today's video, I'm sharing 8 practical tips to help you stop worrying about what others think and start living confidently. Let's dive in. First, let's look at where this fear comes from. Understanding the root can help you see it more objectively and even challenge it. This fear often starts with our need to belong. We're wired as social beings, so we naturally care about fitting in and being accepted. This can be a good thing because it fosters connection, but the downside is when it turns into a fear of judgment, making us overly concerned with what others think. Many of us also have past experiences where we felt judged or criticized, which can intensify this fear over time. Maybe it was in school, at work, or even with family. Once we experience judgment, we may start to avoid situations where we might be judged again. It's natural to want to avoid pain or rejection, but in the long run, this avoidance just reinforces the fear. Take some time to reflect on when this fear started for you. Was there a specific incident or series of moments? Understanding this background is a powerful step toward overcoming it. Once you see that the fear of judgment is often based on past experiences or even instinctual behavior, it's easier to start taking control. Here's the truth. Most people aren't paying as much attention to you as you think they are. In psychology, this concept is called the spotlight effect, where we think everyone's watching our every move, when in reality, most people are busy thinking about themselves. Think about it. How much time do you spend judging others? Probably very little, right? And if you do notice something about someone else, you likely forget it quickly because it's not that important to you. The same goes for how people view you. Realizing this can be freeing because it takes a lot of pressure off. Next time you're worried about judgment, remind yourself people are more focused on themselves than on you. This thought alone can quiet the inner critic and give you more confidence to just be yourself. One powerful way to overcome the fear of judgment is by developing self-compassion. If you're overly critical of yourself, you'll be much more sensitive to any criticism from others. Self-compassion means being kind to yourself and treating yourself with the same respect you would a close friend. Imagine if a friend made a mistake or embarrassed themselves. You'd likely reassure them and help them see it wasn't a big deal. But with ourselves, we often do the opposite, tearing ourselves down and making judgments far harsher than anyone else would. When you learn to treat yourself with kindness, the fear of judgment naturally diminishes because you know your own worth. Tips: start a practice of self-compassion. Each time you notice you're being hard on yourself, pause and ask, would I say this to a friend? If not, find a kinder way to respond to yourself. This shift in mindset can go a long way in helping you build resilience to judgment from others. Another thing to remember is that when people judge, it often says more about them than about you. People's judgments come from their own perspectives, insecurities, and values, which don't necessarily have anything to do with you. So if someone criticizes your choices, it might be because they feel insecure about their own or because they have a different worldview. For example, if you're working on a unique career path and someone tells you it's a bad idea, it could be because they're afraid of risk themselves. Their comment is a reflection of their perspective, not an accurate judgment of your potential. Realizing this can make it easier to separate yourself from others' opinions and stay true to your own path. Tip: when you feel judged, try to ask yourself, is this judgment really about me, or could it be more about their perspective? By shifting your viewpoint, you can avoid taking criticism personally. Here's a big one. Make peace with the fact that you're going to make mistakes. The fear of judgment is often rooted in the fear of not being perfect. We think that if we make mistakes, people will judge us harshly, but the reality is, everyone makes mistakes. It's part of learning and growing. Embracing mistakes as natural and essential to progress helps you loosen the grip of the fear of judgment. When you're comfortable making mistakes, you're more likely to put yourself out there without worrying about what others think. Tip: give yourself permission to mess up. Try new things, experiment, and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself along the way. As you get used to being imperfect, the fear of judgment will start to feel less relevant because you're no longer holding yourself to impossible standards. The people you spend time with have a big influence on how you feel about yourself. If you're surrounded by people who constantly criticize or judge, it's only natural to become more fearful of judgment. But when you're around supportive friends who encourage and accept you, you feel more confident being yourself. Take time to build a circle of people who support you. This might mean letting go of certain relationships that feel toxic or judgmental and focusing more on the people who lift you up. Supportive people will respect your choices and give you the freedom to make your own decisions without fear. If you don't have a strong support system, consider joining groups or communities that align with your interests. Finding like-minded people who value authenticity can boost your confidence and make the fear of judgment feel much less powerful. Criticism is often a big trigger for the fear of judgment, but it doesn't have to be. The way you view criticism makes all the difference. Instead of seeing it as a personal attack, try to see it as feedback that could help you grow. Constructive feedback, even if it's a bit uncomfortable, can be a chance to learn something new or improve. And remember, you don't have to agree with all feedback. Learn to take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. When you see criticism as an opportunity, it loses its power to make you fearful. Next time you receive criticism, pause and ask yourself, is there something useful in this feedback? By approaching it with curiosity rather than defensiveness, you can view feedback as a tool for growth rather than judgment. Lastly, the fear of judgment fades as you build your confidence. Confidence isn't something you wake up with one day. It's built through small, intentional actions over time. Start by stepping outside your comfort zone in small ways. Maybe it's sharing an opinion in a meeting, wearing a bold outfit, or posting something you care about online. Each time you take a small risk and realize you can handle whatever reaction you get, you build resilience against the fear of judgment. The more you practice being yourself, the more confident you become, and the less you care about what others think. Challenge yourself each week to do something that scares you a little. Over time, these small actions build up, and you'll find that fear of judgment has much less of a hold on you. And there you have it. 8 powerful tips to help you overcome the fear of judgment and start living life with confidence. Remember, everyone feels this fear to some degree, but you don't have to let it control you. With these strategies, you'll be equipped to handle whatever comes your way and stay true to who you are. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from the Modern Man's Guide. Here, we're all about helping you level up in every area of life, whether it's confidence, style, or personal growth. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, live boldly, live confidently, and be the best version of yourself. See you in the next one.